looking hella oily though. Hold on.
You keep your head up high, you keep them haters low. You don't let no one in this world tell you you can't do it, cause you're a genius, genius, genius. When you fall, you get back up, just make sure you get it done. You don't let no one in this world tell you you can't do it, cause you're a genius, genius, genius.
What's up YouTube? It's your girl Charlie Browse and I'm back with another video. And as you can see by the title, I'm going to be doing a story time today about the time I quit my job. So this was pretty recent, about a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, but before we get into the video, make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you are not. And don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoy story times and you want me to continue to do them on this channel. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. And what y'all think about these lashes? Because this is my first time like really doing like lower bottom lashes, and I don't know how I feel about them. I asked Graylin how he felt, but he talking about they're unnecessary. I'm on the fence. I really don't know if I like them or not. So if they're distracting you, I'm sorry, okay? Just try to ignore them. Anyway, so it's a lot that has happened leading up to the past few months or so, but we're not gonna talk about all of that. We're gonna just skip right on past that. When I first transferred to the store, had a manager there, loved her, okay? She was amazing. But then she left to be a stay-at-home mom, broke my heart, and we got Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil was horrible. I mean, this lady would like stalk my Facebook page, kind of horrible. Okay, but then we got her up out of there. And then we got another manager named Moana. Okay, so let me set the scene for y'all. There are 4 managers that work in the store. Moana, which was a GM, Cookie Crisp, which was the co-manager, Peter Griffin, which was like ops, and then Scary, which was the prestige manager. Now Moana was so cool when she first got there. She was funny, you know, like we were around the same age, so you know, like everything was cool, right? She was also like the market trainer for the district or whatever like that, right? Anyway, she was cool or whatever when she first got to our store, and you know, for a while I really didn't have an issue with her. I really didn't start having a problem with her until I would notice the way that she would talk to other employees. I had another manager, I'm gonna call her Scary, and it's no shade to her because like she was one of the managers that I love. Like I never had an issue with her, got along with her all the time, love her, but I just feel like she doesn't really speak up for herself as much as she should, because she's afraid of like getting fired or whatever. And I'm a firm believer in like people can't fire you for defending themselves or speaking up for themselves. Like, and if they do, then I mean like, girl, HR. But anyway. But yeah, so Scary, you know, she would just, you know, kind of like talk to me about how Moana and our co-manager, we're gonna call her Cookie Crisp, Moana and Cookie Crisp would just kind of like pick on her and like just talk to her over the walkie like crazy and embarrass her in front of like, cause like at Ulta, whatever, cashiers, managers, and like prestige consultants, they will all wear headsets like walkies, and you know, once you say something on it, everybody with a walkie can hear you. So like Moana would just be on a walkie like talking crazy to Scary and just kind of like embarrassing her in front of like, you know, her employees, which isn't right. So yeah, like they would just bully her, to, you know, just to be completely honest, like they would really bully her. So yeah, my problem with Moana really didn't come until like around that time. And then also she would kind of and like this part right here, I don't really blame her for, because I mean it was my fault, but working excuse me, working in cosmetics for so long. Um, well, I won't say, I guess, okay, let me back up. So before I was working for Lancome, I was working just like in Prestige, whatever, which is just kind of like the sales for helping out, like doing color matches or whatever, whatever, whatever. So before I was Lancome, I was doing that. And with that, it doesn't really come that much responsibility, right? As far as like numbers are concerned. So once I started working for Lancome, each week we have a sales goal to reach, right? And it, like, we struggled. I had a partner, a business partner. Shout out to her, she know who she is. But we had I had a business partner or whatever, and like, you know, it wasn't always as easy for us to make our goal for whatever reason. Like, we just kept missing it week after week. And you know, like, since Moana was like the business market trainer or whatever for the district, us not making our goal kind of made her look a certain way or whatever. So I mean, I got that. So she would kind of like get on to us about like, you know, like making our numbers, and like if we don't make our numbers, and like she has to like resort to getting us to writing us up, blah 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 blah. So that part I get from her. And also when it became more about numbers for me than like the actual like art and the craft or whatever, I kind of like lost my passion for like my passion for like make art cosmetics or whatever. Like, you know, before I would like come to work with like, you know, really like dramatic like shadow, and like, you know, I would be excited about products, but like when it becomes more about numbers, it kind of like sucked the fun out of it. So I would come to work with like barely any makeup on, and Moana would have a problem with that. She would kind of like, you know, call me out about that, which I get or whatever. I really didn't like step it up at all, you know, and I'll take responsibility for that. I kind of like just did bare minimum or whatever, because I mean, I was just kind of over it. I overwhelmed makeup every day. Like, it just wasn't fun for me anymore. And she was starting to notice it or whatever. Like, she noticed that I really wasn't happy, and she would tell me, you know, often, like, you know, I don't think you're happy here, and like, you know, it's time for you to start thinking about you know, why, if you want to be here, blah blah blah. If I'm gonna be completely honest, I will say that like her like calling me out about wearing like more makeup or whatever kind of made me feel some kind of ways. I just feel like, you know, if I don't want to be a cake face, I don't want to be a cake face, you know what I mean? Like that's just like not who I really am anymore. You know, I have a daughter now, and to me, like, just full face of makeup every day just is not what I wanted to do, or I just wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I mean, I kind of felt some kind of way, but I really wasn't holding it against her like that, so whatever. But I would just notice how she just didn't really have compassion for people. Like I had a coworker, one of my other managers, she had a baby, was going on maternity leave for, you know, a few weeks, and when she came back, nobody asked her. Neither Moana or Cookie Crisp asked her, like, you know, oh, how's the baby? How are you? You know, like, how are you recovering? How are you adjusting to motherhood? Like, they didn't check up on her or anything. They just act like they didn't care at all. And to me, I just feel like, you know, you spend more time at work than you do at home. So I just feel like, you know, people that you work with should have some kind of like compassion for you and like care about you to some extent, but they just did not give a fuck, honestly. And like Scary had been sick for like a number of days, and she was working like back to back for like a week straight, and doing all of that sick. And she came in one day and her voice was like kind of like raspy or whatever, and one of them, Moana or Cookie Crisp, they were just like, dang, you still sick? Like, not a how are you doing, or how are you feeling better? Like, just straight like rude, just rude. So like stuff like that just kept happening. Like the cashiers were just kind of getting fed up. Like they were just feeling like it was just too much pressure put on them. Like that she would just talk to them like she was like they were like dogs on the street. It was just a lot of like mean girl stuff going on, like constantly. And to me, I really can't get with somebody who can treat people like that. And Scary was like the oldest manager that we had there. Like she's not like in her 50s or anything, but she was like older than them. Like Cookie Crisp, Moana, and it's another manager. Her name is Peter Griffin. And Peter Griffin, they were like all like 26 to 30 or whatever. So yeah, so I just felt like, you know, with Scary being older, I just felt like she should just have like a level of respect, whether she is under you or not. Like still be respectful, while still, you know, leading and like coaching or whatever like that. But they showed her zero respect. They were just so nasty, so sneaky, just rude, just completely unprofessional. Every day to her, just about. So like after that, I just kind of like looked at her kind of like just, I'm just not vibing with you or whatever. I mean, I still spoke or whatever, but I just wasn't like really feeling her. And she just made the experience just like that much more unenjoyable for me, because I just kind of like knew the kind of person she was, and I really didn't enjoy being or working for somebody who was that kind of person. Now Peter Griffin is the type of person that will suck up and kiss ass to whoever is in charge or above her. So even like back when Sharon was our GM or whatever, she would be in the office for a long time, like kikiing with Sharon and talking shit about people and just like trying to be buddy, right? Come to find out, freaking evaluations, whatever, Sharon gave her a goddamn low evaluation and had her crying and stuff on her way out the door. So it was just kind of like, you did all that for nothing, because she still shitted on you. So anyway, so with Moana, she does the same thing. She kikis and like, you know, try to get all buddy or whatever. And it's just fake about it. Like she's not real when it comes to like standing up for what's right. Like if Moana say, oh, write up so-and-so for like something petty, she'll be like, okay, well, yeah, like that's a good idea, da. Like she won't be like, I don't think that's, you know, right or whatever. Like she won't stand up for what's right if it's coming from the top, basically. Like she just like to kiss ass. She's an ass kisser. Out of all of management, I feel like she complained the most about doing her job. She would never want a customer service. She would never want to ring people up. She would never want to just do anything that required her to interact with customers. And I'm just like, but you're a manager in retail. What did you think this job was going to require you to do? So anyway, I just got to a point where I was just over it. So I put in my 2 weeks. I wrote a resignation letter, and I sent one in, and I dated it for like the 13th or something of January. But then, mind you, I did this without having a backup. Like I was just like so done at that point. I was just really unhappy, and it was just taking a toll on me. Like I was just, you know, stressing out. I was just like emotionally drained, mentally drained. It was just too much. You know, just like the stress of, you know, making your numbers, and then the stress of like having to be working with people who like you really just did not vibe with, people who were just not good people. It just kind of like took a mental and emotional strain on me, and I was just over it. So I took a leap of faith, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just put my notice in, I'm gonna pray about it, and I'm gonna let God take over, basically. So I wrote my first letter, and I dated it for like the 13th. But I was like, you know what, let me not be stressing about just having 2 weeks. So I sent another one like right after almost, and I dated it for like the end of the month, like the 27th. So I sent both of those off or whatever, and everything was good. Like I was on schedule or whatever for like the remaining, you know, few weeks and whatever. So it comes this one particular day where I was scheduled from like 1 to 8. And but on that day I could not stay till 8 o'clock because I was the only one able to pick Avery up. Avery is my daughter. Because her daycare closes at 7, so I needed to leave at 6 because I live by about like 40 minutes away depending on like traffic, or I worked about 40 minutes away depending on traffic. So that was going to be a Thursday. So Wednesday night, I first I texted Peter Griffin and I was like, hey, is it cool if I work from 11 to 6 tomorrow versus 1 to 8? You know, I gotta go pick Avery up, nobody else can get her, blah blah blah. And she was like, you're gonna have to partner with Moana on this one, you know, ask her. I was like, all right, cool. Now mind you, it was never an issue for me to have to get off early before, because sometimes I would be the only one able to pick her up and I would be allowed to leave early with no problems. But I was like, okay, whatever. So I messaged Moana and I asked her the same thing. And she didn't reply to me until the next morning, like early. And she was like, you know what, Charlie, I really need you to work your original schedule. And I was like, well, you know, I understand it, but unfortunately I cannot because I'm the only one who can get my daughter. So she left me on red and didn't reply. So I didn't know what to take from that. So I was just like, well, let me go in at 11 just in case, you know, they okay with it or whatever. You know, I walk through the door, and when I walk in, Peter Griffin is at the cash trap. And before I could even like get in there good, here she goes. She was like, Moana doesn't want you to clock in until 1, like your original schedule. And I was just like, first of all, I was just like, well, how come Moana didn't reply to me and text me back and tell me, no, what, like, you know, no. And like tell me to just still come in at 1, you know? She just left me on red. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna still have to leave at 6. And she was like, that's fine. I'm like, okay. So I went back out to my car and just chilled for, you know, 2 hours or whatever till 1 o'clock. So whatever, so, you know, 1 o'clock comes, I go to work, I clock in, blah, 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 work my whole shift, no problems. Peter Griffin didn't say anything to me about anything. Scary was there that day, you know, Scary didn't say anything to me about anything. But Scary really wasn't aware that I had asked to leave or like why I wanted to leave or whatever like that, because I had never came to her initially, so whatever. So yeah, the whole day goes by. Peter Griffin leaves around 5. You know, we were like talking about just regular stuff. You know, she never mentioned anything to me about anything as far as like me leaving or staying. Right? Okay. So 6 o'clock comes and I get myself, I clock out in the salon. I walk up to the front to get walked out, and Scary's like, you're not leaving, are you? Yeah, I am. And she was like, Moana says you can't go. I'm not allowed to let you leave. I can't walk you out. So I walk out in retail, at least at Ulta is. If you're an employee and you've worked a shift or whatever, or if you've gone to the back at all at any point, you have to like be walked out by a manager before you can leave. And like that's just making sure that like you're not stealing anything or whatever like that. So like they check your pockets, they check like your purse or whatever like that, you know, some stuff like that. So she was like, yeah, you know, I can't, I'm not allowed to walk you out. Like, you know, and you know, if I do that, I'm gonna get in trouble and blah, 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 blah. And like Scary was just like always like on a final warning or whatever. So she was just always so afraid to like get fired, which I understand. Like, you know, she got kids and stuff. I wasn't mad at her. And I was just looking like, but I was just so confused because, you know, that morning, Peter Griffin had told me that's fine. When I told her I still had to leave at 6, she told me that's fine. Like verbatim, that's what she said, that's fine. And she didn't say anything to me the whole day at all about having to stay. So I was just like taken aback. I was just thrown off. It was just like I was just caught off guard basically. So I was just like, well, I have to go get Avery. Like I don't understand. Like what are you talking about? And she was like, I'm sorry, like that's just what Moana told me to do. I can't walk you out. You can like see if Care Bear, which was our salon manager, if Care Bear can walk you out. And I'm just like, okay. So I get on the phone and I call Moana and I'm just like, how come Scary is telling me that you can't walk me out and I'm not allowed to leave and blah, blah, blah. And like she's out somewhere because like I can hear a whole bunch of noise in the background and she's like kind of like giggling or whatever. First of all, let me back up. So I call her or whatever and I'm like, she's like, hello? I'm like, hey, Moana, it's Charlie. Cause you know, I'm just assuming that she probably like doesn't have my number saved or just like whatever. Like I don't know if she like, I don't know. I just like, you know, hey, it's Charlie, and she kind of like was laughing, like, hey, Charlie, it's Moana, ha ha ha, like being sarcastic, right? So off rip, like she was already pissing me off. Like I'm not in the mood for your games. Like I know why cause I knew that she knew why I was calling her. So you know, I'm like, I got an issue with you, and you laughing. And you laughing when you pick up the phone with me. Anyway, so I'm like, you know, hey, yeah, I'm like, yeah, you know, Scary. How come Scary's telling me that you can't like let me leave and I'm not allowed to leave and blah blah blah. And she was like, you know, well, you know, my expectation is for you to like, you know, work your full shift, blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, I understand that, but I can't do that because I have to go get my kid. Like I can't just leave her there. She's 3. Like, I don't understand, like, why you don't understand that. I'm like, you know, and she's a mother. She has a little girl. So I'm like, you know, I would expect you to understand. And she was just like, you know, I know I do understand. But still, the expectation still remains that, you know, that you work your whole shift and you stay till 8 o'clock. And I'm just like, but I don't understand why you're expecting me to do something that you know I cannot do. Like, I can't just leave my kid at her school till 8 o'clock and they close at 7 o'clock. Like, that. How? And she just kept saying, well, you know what, I can't like, you know, physically hold you to the building, but you can, you know, you can make that decision for yourself, but just know that I'm expecting you to work your full shift. And I'm just like, okay, but I already had the conversation between you, I had the conversation with you and with Peter Griffin or whatever, and I was told it was fine this morning. She was like, you know what, you can have whatever conversation you want to have, but just know that I'm still expecting you, blah, 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 blah. So I was just like, okay, whatever, goodbye, and I hung up. You know, I was just like, you know, she told me I can make the decision for myself or whatever, Scary, so I gotta go. So she walked me out or whatever and was just like, you know, I'm so sorry. I know, I get it. I know she's, you know, because I was so pissed off that I had to like go through those dang on hoops just to be able to leave early when, first of all, you know, I'm already leaving. Like, you know, I put my 2 weeks in already. You know I'm already leaving, so why are you giving me a hard time? Number 2, I've left early before and it was never an issue, so why is it an issue today? And I feel like because she knew I was leaving, like she was making it harder for me to like get like certain favors, you know, like to like, you know, she wasn't gonna she wasn't gonna make it easy for me to like, or make my last 2 weeks easy, I guess, because, you know, she wanted to, I don't know what her motive was, but I was pissed off. A couple of days passed or whatever, and like she just kind of like would just glare at me and like not speak and stuff like that, and that didn't bother me. I would prefer for you not to talk to me, honestly. Or she would like be there for like 2-3 hours or whatever, and then like come up and be like, hey, you've been here, I've been seeing you, why are you speaking to me now? But then a Saturday comes and I was scheduled to work like 2 to 9 or something. So I get to work and you know, I'm in the back putting my stuff up, and my business partner is back there too, and she kind of like just catching me up on stuff, whatever. And then Moana comes to the back and she's like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? I'm like, I already knew what it's about to be some shit, so I was like, okay. And I had asked my business partner to take my stuff and put it at the counter. Then I asked her if I can go to the restroom real quick because I really had to pee. So she was like, okay, cool. So I went to the restroom or whatever, and I came back, and the stuff that I noticed that I had gave to my business partner was like on her counter in the office. So I was like, here we go, here we go. So yeah, so I was just like, what's up? And she was like, yeah, you know, I didn't know that you put in two resignation letters. Like I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yes, you did. How come everybody else knew but you? And I sent them like back to back almost. So it's like if you saw one, I'm pretty sure you saw the other one, because my email isn't the email that's just like always in the inbox. So I'm pretty sure that it caught your attention, both of them. So don't play me. But okay, continue. So she was like, yeah, I didn't know that you sent two resignation forms. She's like, you know, I was just like, okay, yeah. Um, I was just like, yeah, I made a mistake on the first one as far as the date, so I switched the dates because I made a mistake or whatever. And she was like, oh, okay, well, you know, I wasn't aware that you did that, but we're gonna go ahead and just honor the date for the first one, which was the 13th. And I think this date was like, maybe like the 19th or something. I don't know. And I was just like, how come, like, why not the second one? And she was like, well, you know, like, well, in the case where, like, you know, there's two letters, we have the right to, like, make the decision to, like, choose which one we want to use. Do you? Because I'm just like, how are you going to choose the date for somebody to resign? How are you gonna pick my date for me? That don't make no sense. But okay. So I was like, okay, whatever. So she was like, yeah, like you just, you know, get your stuff, you can clock out and make sure you approve your time card. I was like, I don't believe you, but okay. And she was like, well, if you don't believe me, you can call HR. And I was just like, okay. Most of me, like 98% of me, was so happy. So happy. Because I was like dreading having to work a whole nother week before my last day. So a part of me was just like, hell yeah, because I didn't feel like being there anyway, because there was an event going on. It was gonna be a lot of people. It was just gonna be like, oh, I really didn't want to be there anyway. So I was like, hallelujah, thank you, Lord, right? Then that 2% of me was just like, kind of mad because she tried to play me and she lied to my face. Like, and I knew she was only doing it because she felt some kind of way about me leaving on that day when I had to go pick Avery up. So to like feel like she won or whatever, or like had her way anyway, she didn't let me work up until my resignation day. And like that just like showed me the kind of person she was. Like, you that mad because I had to leave 2 hours early to go pick up my kid. And the day that I left, we weren't even like crazy busy. We weren't slammed at all. It was covered on the floor. Like, she really didn't need me. She was just being a bitch, basically, just being a bitch. So yeah, so I left. But like, you know, I told my business partner what happened or whatever, and a couple of my other coworkers or whatever, and they were just like, no, she didn't. Like, they were kind of like all just kind of like shocked. And like, to be petty, I just kind of like stayed around the store, like acting like I was shopping and just kind of like, you know, being petty, cause she kept like watching my every move, like, what is she doing? Who was she talking to? Is she telling them what happened? Like, you know, just all in my grill. Anyway, so before I like, you know, was done doing all of that and I was finna leave, I had saw Scary and I was just like, you know, and she was like, did she like let you go early? And I was like, yeah, but it's cool. And she was like, I'm sorry, like, you know, it's unfortunate that, you know, that she's like that and she had to do that and blah 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 blah. And I was just like, honestly, Scary, like, it's okay. I had an interview coming up that week. Like, I wasn't tripping at all. I'm like, you know what, I would rather leave here now than have to deal with another week of BS and like have to deal with all the negative energy that's around and everything like that. So yeah, so I left and haven't been back since. don't plan on going back at all. So yeah, that was my story time about how I quit my job, and I encourage everybody to do the same thing. If you are working in a place where, you know, your peace of mind is just not there, you stressing out, you just crying, you just going crazy, right? Leave that job. I personally feel like I stayed for so long because of work relationships. Like I was really cool with like a lot of people there, you know. Fear of like starting over and then not working, not liking the next place or whatever. Like I just had all of these thoughts as to why I was so afraid to leave. But let me tell you, it's nothing like a peace of mind. Like I don't care how much money I'm making. I don't care about none of that. A peace of mind is priceless, and this is honestly the best decision I've made in a long time. Like I'm so relieved to not be there. I can't even tell you. Like I'm so happy I'm gone. So happy I'm gone. But yeah. Let me know what y'all thought about the story time. Let me know if you have any similar experiences. Yeah, let me know what kind of videos or story, or if you want me to do more story times. I do have a few more stories I could share. But yeah, don't forget to follow me on all my social media. They'll be linked down below. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah! Bye.